What's going on, everybody? It's Monday night. That's right. Everybody loves Mondays, right? The weekend ends, and we're back to reality. Who doesn't love a Monday? Tonight we're talking Star Wars and what's next for it. There's a lot, and I mean a lot coming, and a lot of the rumors out there coming from pretty reputable places. Sort of paint a picture of what you can expect out of the next few years of Star Wars, not only on the small screen but on the big screen. And we'll also be playing some Call of Duty tonight, although we're going to be having a bit of an issue with our feed. But joining me as always, he is the host of the Bros Before Pros podcast. No,
No.
no, Twitch, YouTube channel, Courier Pigeon. What else? What else are you doing?
Oh, no courier pigeons. Not yet.
No.
We haven't got them trained enough. They're hard, man.
Storks. Go for storks.
Stores. They deliver babies, man. We're not delivering packages that large.
Just saying. I mean, you could probably make a killing. Also joining us, he's the man in the yellow hoodie. That's right. He's got a yellow hoodie on. He's Tommy B. What's going on, man?
I'm hanging in there. It is a Monday evening, and all is, for the most part, as it should be, except with your TV. That is not great, but
No,
here we are.
that's how the cookie crumbles, I suppose. Um, there's a lot to dive into tonight. You will hear us randomly calling out some Call of Duty stuff, so apologies for that as we go. But fellas, I want to start here. Star Wars is entering a year where they have not one, not two, but three different live action TV shows that apparently are all going to play into one another. And then that's going to be followed up the following year with three other Star Wars live action TV shows. And even I have to sit here and wonder, is it too much?
Well,
Yeah.
as we might know, the live action shows aren't all we have right now, because there's also the animation. The animation isn't as um, I guess, expansive as world building worth as the Clone Wars or Rebels, but it's there. We got the Bad Batch. They are doing some world building, but it's kind of like Clone Wars. I don't know what you want to call it. Season, is it 8? Is that the right one? Um, but on a much smaller scale. And I know it's not your thing, Sean. Johnny, I don't even know if you watched any of Bad Batch, but I'm enjoying
Nope.
it. They're doing some justice for the
How
Clone
did
Wars,
I know you would go to Bad Batch? Oh man,
because it's worth talking about, because it's on right now. Not right this minute, of course, but like,
someone
you
brought
know,
an interesting point up the other day. I was actually kind of curious what you would think about it, simply because I remember you being a Republic Commando fan. And a lot of the discourse around the Bad Batch is, why do we need this show? Is this just not the waste of a waste of a show? I'm not saying everybody feels that way, but a lot of people seem to think, there's a bunch of other things that you could have done, that should have been prioritized first. And someone threw it there. Don't you think the Bad Batch would have made a better video game than a TV show? And I kind of thought to myself, yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. We talk about this every few weeks or so, and I'm just always cautious with a Star Wars video game, because you just never know what you're gonna get, right? You can be disappointed. You might get something that's fairly good, but I think we have yet to have our childhoods blown out of the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do get what you're saying. We are jumping right now, by the way, and I just pinged somewhere on the map. Um, I, I don't know. Like someone, I was listening to this. Man, I don't even remember who it was now, but I was listening to this podcast, and they were saying, they're always so hesitant to give us like that big thing that we want, and they're always so hesitant to fill in the the story timeline for significant characters because they might do something on the big screen or the small screen with them that fits in the current canon, and I'm going to come back to that. And yet, why don't we have a, pardon my language, but a fucking Luke Skywalker show with one of the best voice actors on the planet who just so happened to play him? Just a thought. You're telling me people wouldn't watch a animated Luke Skywalker show that was the same tone as like a Clone Wars season 7? I think people absolutely would. People be all over that, but they don't seem to want to give us anything with those characters. And I don't see why they can't. You can do those shows without it being like this big galactic conflict, and you don't have to fill in 10 years at a timeline. Look how many seasons of Clone Wars you got, and that takes place in what, 3 years? You telling me you can't spare 3 years in the timeline to go do a Luke Skywalker and Ben Solo animated series traveling the galaxy? You telling me Star Wars fans wouldn't be interested in that? Again, I'm not trying to shit on the product, but sometimes there's sometimes the obvious choice is the right choice, and they don't seem to want to make it a lot, which is kind of frustrating. Any thoughts on
I'm
that, fellas?
personally one who wants to see more Mandalorian, more of these characters that don't have the cinema background. I'm all for seeing Luke Skywalker appear or Darth Vader appear, all them, but I just don't want them to be, well, what's the term? A one trick horse or whatever? Am I
One
botching
trick
that
pony.
phrase? Yeah. Okay. I don't want Star Wars to become that.
Well, the problem is if it doesn't, in my opinion, lean into its success with its already created characters, then you need to be able to create new, interesting characters that capture the fan base's attention, and they have failed to do that other than the little green guy, on a pretty massive scale. And that's why I'm always very careful whenever anybody wants to compare Star Wars to Marvel or DC, because it's very clear that, at least for right now, Lucasfilm and Disney do not want to treat those characters like that. They don't want them to, have different stories told in different timelines, and have different people play those characters, which is it's aggravating and it's frustrating because you're left with what they've given us in the Disney era. And not to say it's been all bad, because it definitely has not, but man,
To do much better.
there's a reason they lean so heavy into the nostalgia, because a lot of the new stuff hasn't worked out all that well.
I mean, I think that's more so because of the fan base than things they've done. I mean, let's be honest. There's a large portion of the fan base that no matter what they do, it's trash.
Oh, for sure. You have here. We'll let this one slip. It's not our scoop by any means, so I don't want it to seem like it is. But I believe it was Bespin Bulletin, and I heard this via Making Star Wars, who those two are the big guns when it comes to Star Wars leakers.
Oh, yes.
That's the new Star Wars movie that's being written by David Lindelof, the fellow that did wrote the new Watchmen series. And I believe it's being directed by, I can't remember her name, but she did Miss Marvel. That's the team anyway. And the leads are two persons of color, and people are just waiting to jump all over that because that's the sick, twisted world we live
It is. I mean, which is unfortunate because we have an enemy car on the other side of the street.
in. We do. Actually, I think that's our car, and they just stole it.
Oh, son of a!
You guys can't see it, but we just got our car stolen. Oh, that's not good.
Not a great way to start the match,
Nope.
but also I didn't want to just sit in the car.
I tagged another one. We're not terribly far from it. Gonna have to be careful going there. And you were saying, Johnny?
I don't actually remember what I was saying.
Oh, just that, like, when the official news of whoever's been cast as the lead in this new Star Wars movie. Now, there's rumors speculating that Daisy Ridley might be involved in the movie, but is not the lead. We'll see if that comes to be true or not. But that the leads are two persons of color, people are just waiting to hate on that. And
Absolutely.
That's just the sick world we live in nowadays.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like you said, it's the world we live in. People try and paint this rosy picture of Star Wars, but it was always a series that was built on sort of a political statement. Like, people complain about politics in Star Wars. Well, I don't know what Star Wars they watched, but it was always that.
Star Wars has always been politics, yeah. So,
it wasn't.
It's much more played up in the prequels, but yeah, it's always been there.
It was a different type of politics in the prequel era, which I think was detrimental personally, because it spent too much time trying to be, Sorkin-esque political instead of Clancy-esque political. Is, I guess, for me, sort of like that comparison, because like they're both very political writers. Aaron Sorkin does politics very well. I mean, The West Wing is arguably the greatest political show ever written. But Clancy in his in the Jack Ryan novels and all his other stuff always dealt with politics in a much more sort of, what the heck are you guys going?
My bad. I forgot about you. Hey, we're good. We're good.
Are we? Are we really?
Alrighty. Yeah. No. I mean, again, like I said, we're gonna go the other way. Oh.
Say, are we going for this other one or what?
No, I messed up there. That was on me. Yeah, I mean, people are going to hate no matter what they do. So let's kind of go in order here. First up, just sticking with the games, or sorry, not the games. We are going to get to a game in a second, or in a little while. But Mando season 3 is coming out now. Not too long ago, we started to rewatch Mando here. Okay, and it was cool. What's your guys' excitement level for season 3 of The Mandalorian? I'm just curious because mine is not through the roof.
Excitement level for season 3? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Honestly, I
We
feel
got a
like it's
guy behind the
underhyped.
gas station.
we do.
Nice.
Say if you didn't manage to, oh god,
Yeah, we're in trouble.
I am down. Somebody get me up so I don't waste my self-revive.
Tommy, get out of it. Oh, no, you got to waste it, man. I'm trying to block the shots. He's hitting me. You get the hell out of here. Don't worry about us. He's going to... Oh, boy. Get in, get in. Oh, no, get out, get out, get out.
Well, that was not great.
Yeah.
I thought you were coming to rescue, and you did not.
Well, we tried to, but the vehicle got disabled.
And then
point
they
where-
dropped a mortar strike on our head.
Yeah. Somehow I'm still alive for the moment.
All right.
Call this Operation Stay Alive.
I've been having my best success sticking with others in the gulag, so I'm gonna do that with you here.
Johnny, how about you, man? You and I haven't talked too much about Mando, which is weird. Like it's one of those shows we just haven't talked too much about. Where are you? I'm assuming you're caught up by now on season 2.
Oh yeah. I'm. As crazy as it sounds, I mean, we're only just a few. Yeah, so was mine. We're only just a few seasons in, but I'm ready to a degree burn out on it.
Yeah,
because it's just so jammed down your face. I think part of that was, the fact that they turned the Book of Boba Fett, which they built up so strong, to being this, you finally get answers on Boba Fett. Now he survived, and you get to see his story and his side of things, and then it turns into season 2.5 of The Mandalorian. Like, I don't need this right now. I don't need to see this. This is great in the next season of The Mandalorian. I don't need it right now. There's no place for this here.
Yeah, I just don't understand how, of all characters, they didn't trust Boba Fett to pull his own for a limited series. I just don't understand it.
It's not even that. Like, you could have done, they just made it so much about everything else that it just ruined that series. That it wasn't the series we were promised, and it burnt you out on it. And let's be honest, I think that Pedro is a phenomenal actor, but I see too much of him. He's in that.
You see too much of him.
This and The Last of Us.
I'm sure I don't know how much of him we actually see.
Yeah, but the voice, right? That's an important. He has a very distinctive voice. That's very, you know it as soon as you hear it. And it just.
There's no doubt he's become a household name.
And he has, and it's just, it's not a detriment of his skill or anything. It's just there's too much of him. As soon as one series ends, the next one starts. There's no break. And you've got, just the general, every Star Wars conversation is about the Mandalorian. Everything you hear is Grogu this, or Din that, or Mando this, Mando that.
Baby Yoda, yeah.
Exactly. Like, I've had enough of them. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And that's where we are for me. Is that there's too much of it. As good as it is, like the
So you're
series has
saying,
been.
Johnny, that you hope the season 3 is the end for a while.
I don't necessarily mean for a while. I just do something different. Like it seemed like they were sort of starting to branch out and starting to introduce sort of the Mandalorian culture itself, and other, people and, the foundlings and doing their story and big miss, buddy.
That sucked.
Oh Jesus, I'm in trouble.
And all of those things, and it just kept coming back to that one thing. And
You gotta throw a
if
shield on.
they can flesh out the series to make it more about other people, other things, then I might not, be quite so blasé about it. But you know, I just, there's just too much of it. It's character burnout.
Do you not have any shields?
I do. I was more worried about getting away. So I think Mando works best in an ensemble. Obviously, Pedro's going nowhere. Season 3 is definitely not the end. Although I don't know if we'll get another standalone season. To my understanding, the next thing will be the big crossover, and it's possible they might just be like the big crossover is just going to be Mando season 4, or we might get what Netflix did with their
With the
their
Defenders.
Netflix. Yeah, so um, we'll see what route that goes. Um, it could really play out either way at this point in time.
But you know what? Based on what we've been getting led up to, and from what the trailer shows, it looks like we're gonna see some pretty good stuff this season that we've been wanting to see for a very long time. And I think there's a chance, if there's any season, it would be the case. We might see a good bit of other characters rather than just Mando this season.
Yeah, the trailer definitely tipped their hat a bit on that one, or tipped their hand a bit on that one. And I think that's okay. We'll see which way. We know we're getting Bo-Katan this season with Mando and Grogu and a bunch of others. So, to be honest, though, like I'm far, 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 far more interested in seeing Ahsoka than I am Mando season 3.
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily jumping that far. I'm excited for both of them.
I think the difference for me is that there's so much more promise for Ahsoka that assuming the story is what we assume it to be.
Can someone take a gas station?
Let's see, where are you?
That's the only one in the circle.
Thanks.
But like, assuming the series turns out to be what we assume it to be, it's a culmination of so many things. Like, we talked about the Mandalorian building up to this Disney Plus Defenders. It almost feels like that's sort of what this is, in a much different way. And that this is sort of the culmination, this is the culmination of the promise made in the Rebels finale. And personally, I enjoyed that a great deal. Like, there, to me, I personally, and I know I'm not, there aren't a lot of people that agree with me, but I enjoy the whole of Rebels more than the whole of Clone Wars.
I tend to say that Clone Wars and Rebels did different things.
Fire
Rebels
station, guys, right
provide
now.
us more of a cohesive storyline. Uh-oh.
You got two clusters, one cluster here, and one cluster here. Which one do you want?
Don't care. Just I gotta get away from these guys for a second.
Rebels provide us a cohesive storyline, whereas Clone Wars gave us, a multitude of perspectives. Eventually, they did converge more on the Jedi and Rex and such, but they generally, gave us a better overview. Not always to the benefit. everyone's favorite. What was that guy? Colonel Gascon? Am I butchering the name or misremembering the name? You know who I'm talking about, Johnny?
The little guy.
Yeah, the droids arc.
But yeah, I mean, I think
Someone just
think
stole my vehicle again. Mother truckers.
I think Clone Wars had better arcs, and Rebels had a better overall.
A shotgun. You?
Yes, me.
You hate shotguns in this game.
I don't like the 2-shot ones. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I just think I'm excited for Ahsoka, but I'm also very, very worried because we already know for a fact it's doing the world between worlds thing, and
It's cautious
it
optimism.
it, it it's a slippery slope, though. In
They're
my
going to
opinion.
destroy the fabric of the canon again.
Well, something's going to change. That's for damn sure. But
Here's a
yeah,
question for you, Sean, since you keep coming back. Oh.
get out of here, Johnny.
I am nowhere near you, buddy.
I didn't know you were still alive, Johnny.
I'm not. He brought me back.
I
Okay.
only had enough for one of you. Sorry.
No, I just missed whenever you bought him back.
What do we hear? Have now. Talking Star Wars says, I think Bespin a couple months ago said season 4 will cross over with Skeleton Crew. Well, season 3 of Mando, Ahsoka, all lead into Skeleton Crew.
Don't turn around.
How do you do those executions, by the way?
Hold right thumbstick.
Like push it down?
I gotta kill. I'm okay with that.
Hey, we got 14.
Yeah, that
It's a pretty damn good start. Pretty damn good first match.
I should have expected to have somebody over the ridge.
Hard to ask for better than that, considering how the map was looking early. Okay, so I have a canon thing in terms of Thrawn and Lucasfilm and decisions they've made in Disney and how Thrawn, who's about to come in, as excited as I am, is very worrisome. Because of the rules that they've set in place. Do you guys want to talk about that first? Or do you want to talk about the mess that is the Knights of the Old Republic remake?
I'm a dealer's choice.
Let's go with canon stuff first then.
Okay.
So they scrap Legends now. It's been more than 10 years now. That's crazy. But they scrap the old canon and make it Legends, I should say. And the reason for this is because everything moving forward is going to be one connective canon. That's what they sold everybody on. They sold everybody pretty hard on that too.
Yep.
For a few years. Okay. Here's my problem. Is a lot of the stuff that's rumored with Thrawn for live action paints him in a very villainous, selfish light. And that is nowhere close to the character they've set up in the 6 books that they've released a new canon for Thrawn. And I think they're going to a very dangerous place here because the new books set it up so basically Thrawn, kind of like in the old canon, is the beginning of the Yuuzhan Vong invasion, kind of, or it's the precursor to the Yuuzhan Vong. In this case, they've been setting up the Grisk, which is a far easier name to say. But basically, they're the same premise as the Yuuzhan Vong was, but instead of the Force having no impact on them, they have the ability to enslave your mind, even if you are Force sensitive. So they set this up for a while now, and yet the leaks, if they're true, make no acknowledgement of this big threat that even Palpatine, apparently behind the scenes, was the most worried about. I don't see how you can build that up for 6 books and then bring him in to the show and be like, yeah, none of that matters now. After pitching your fan base on, okay, well, it's canon. It all matters. There's a lot of... It's really 50-50 on the Thrawn front right now because of that. Any thoughts, fellas?
I mean, there are certainly ways that you can, I don't want to say minimize what they've said in the books and how they've sort of portrayed this great threat from beyond.
I'm still looking for
But-
one, so bear with me. What the hell? We'll go here. We'll water it.
But there are certainly, ways that where you can almost do exactly that by minimizing what they've said. And I think that's sort of the route they have to take. We definitely got guys coming down here.
Oh, well, then I'm getting in the boat and going. We all should. Can you reach us in time? Oh, no. Did I just... Oh, okay.
We're fine. Johnny's trying to get a weapon, which would probably be good because neither of us have one.
Hey, I'm good with a pistol. I win most of my gulags. No, but what's your take on the selling your fan base on it's canon, it all matters, you set something up, and then you're not just changing possible events, you are completely changing that character if you bring him into live action and he's just there to be haha straight up villain, I'm here to take over the New Republic and all that.
It sucks. That's not.
I mean,
how we
I
wanna
think
see Thrawn.
that at least a part of it is that they put too much emphasis on that. In that, they put too much emphasis on the everything is canon front, because that sort of forces fan bases into you have to read everything, you have to consume everything, or you'll be left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a survivable model
I
for
agree.
anyone.
I agree.
Even Marvel, DC doesn't have that. Like the series, the universes all interconnect, but in such a way that you can just start at the beginning of a new series and learn what you need to learn. Past knowledge isn't mandatory, but is encouraged.
You don't even need to consume everything that hooks into the MCU to enjoy the MCU.
Exactly.
The MCU has many tie-in. I don't know about many. I don't know if they still make any, but they got tie-in comics, and probably the majority of people who watch those movies don't even know that.
I'm going to dock this quickly to look for a weapon and then get back in. I'm going to try to keep us in the water for as long as we can stay in there.
We've got a
Great.
gas station to the left for the boat, so we can gas it up. and some buildings just inland. So
I think there's a team close though. Yeah, no, I thought it was a terrible idea. The second they announced everything has to be canon, it's like, okay, well, I don't expect them to live up to everything that's been in all 6 books by any means. But this isn't just nobody that wrote these books. It's fucking Timothy Zahn. Like, if there's anybody that knows the character, like, come on. But if you completely go the opposite direction of the 6 books that you've gone and done, it's, in my opinion, you're just asking for trouble. Like, you've already had so much backlash. Why would you want to create more? And that's what's going to happen.
oh Jesus, Tommy.
Any I mean, I don't think you guys have read the book, so like you have no attachment to it necessarily. And again, leaks aren't always true. So it could be nothing, but I just feel like Lucasfilm, the new Lucasfilm regime, which is definitely no longer new, shoots itself in the foot a lot.
Oh, for sure. They've definitely made a lot. They've made far more mistakes than even George ever did. I mean, learning more and more about the things and the reasonings and the decisions behind some of the things George has done over the years, you start to realize, oh, he's just a petty man. And
guys, we're here with another team. I'm backing up to you guys. I think there might be 2 other teams here too. So I'm making my way
I'm
back
headed to
the
you.
boat. I'm heading to the boat.
Yeah, I definitely heard somebody on prox.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm worried. Like, I can't wait to see the character, and I know, not Mads Mikkelsen, Lars Mikkelsen did an interview that had some people worried because he denied ever being contacted for it. It's Lars. Yeah, he's already filmed a bunch with him, so, or as him. And so like it'll be exciting to see the character on screen regardless. But at the same time, like if it makes me feel like, oh, well, thank you for. I don't think I'd look at the 6 books as meaningless, but I wouldn't look at them as valuable as they could have been. Like, I still listen to a lot of Legends material. I'm listening to some Legends material right now, and I think it's great. It still has value to me, but it would hold more value if it actually mattered with what's going on in the TV universe.
Yeah, I mean, having the stuff be more meaningful is good for the people who consume it. But like I said, you can't, you can't over rely on that.
I'm gonna leave this boat here and go up onto this ship.
How do we scale this thing?
We're gonna have to
ladder back behind us, I think.
No, there wasn't a ladder. I don't think. Was there?
I don't know. If there's not, I'll find out in a second. Otherwise, I'll have to go all the way around.
Yeah, I assumed we had to go all the way around.
I thought I had an escape ladder back, but apparently I did not.
What the hell? Weird. I can't get up out of the water.
Yeah, I hate that. I have a hard time doing that too.
All right, I think I'm going back to the boat. So much for that idea.
None of us found any way up there?
I would have had to swim to shore, basically. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm just gonna try to enjoy it for what it is, but I would be lying, fellas, if I sat here and said I don't feel burned if they just ignore 6 pretty damn good books that Zahn put out.
Well, I mean, to a degree, that's the nature of the beast, though.
All right, circle's gonna start closing more.
Just wait on Johnny.
We're still good though.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it definitely comes with the territory, right? Like that's what you get. It's just the way it works. But you just wish it wasn't that way.
Oh, no doubt. But
Let's talk movie
Johnny, are we
for a
waiting
sec.
for you?
Yeah, we are
no,
waiting.
are you? Have you left yet?
Going to very soon.
I'll be back before the circle descends.
I'm gonna jump out of the boat in the meantime, so I'm not just a free shot for someone. So
Really? That was blocking me?
they got a movie. We believe the release date is December 19th, 2015. Oh yeah, 2015. Wow. 2020.
Really?
2025. A little more than 10 years to the day The Force Awakens came out. The rumor is it's a movie that might be set in the sequel era or after it, rather. My question is, if you're not going to have any legacy characters in this movie, how do you get audience in this? Like, how good does this thing have to be to get audiences, engaged into this movie and not have Solo Part 2 that did have legacy characters? I can only assume that they have a script that they have a world of faith in, and like they've been, I don't want to say scared, but yeah, they've been extremely cautious about what they do next on the big screen, and you'll notice that the one that's going to be coming is not any of the ones that were announced within the last couple years.
All right, we can gear up.
Any thoughts, fellas? Like, to me,
I mean, I don't.
if you're doing a Star Wars movie, like if you're doing a Star Wars movie, there's got to be a good reason to do that Star Wars movie. I know some people will be like, yeah, money, make money. But like, I don't want to just see mediocre Star Wars movies. I know some people say there already is
No,
some.
damn
I
it, I
don't
didn't
view
want
it
to do
that
that.
way though. Call this extreme camping.
What was that? Was it? Did a UAV just lock onto us or something?
No, I hit the wrong button.
No.
That was my UAV.
But yeah, how about you fellas in terms of Star Wars and the big screen? Like, do you need legacy characters involved? I always figured no matter what they do next, if they're going sequel era, they're going to find a way to have Grogu involved.
I don't think it necessarily has to be Grogu.
For me, it's more about story than characters. I can grow to enjoy new characters as long as the story is good. And that's sort of that's where things went off the rails with the sequel trilogy. Is that the story was, I dare say, the most convoluted trilogy I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen some pretty convoluted trilogies.
I just don't know how you get back to having major Star Wars releases. I don't
Yeah,
know how
and-
we get back to that.
and that's my point. Is like Star Wars movies should be major releases, and I don't know. It's been very quiet. Like even on the leaking side, there's no premise about what the movie might be about, other than it's probably in the sequel era. Daisy Ridley may have some involvement, and it's believed that the leads are two persons of color. Other than that, we don't know squat. But in terms of the money making thing, you're gonna see Grogu a lot. Like that's he's a merchandise cow for them, and they're gonna keep milking that cow, even if we don't want to see it anymore.
We're gonna have to start going inland.
So I'll ask you your same question, Tommy, is how do you make it a big thing, a big deal? Like, oh, I can't wait to go see the Star Wars movie.
It has to be part of something bigger. It can't be a spin-off. I like the spin-offs. I like Solo. I did. It just can't be that. It needs to be part of something bigger. Whether that means it's a trilogy, a duology, whatever the hell, some kind of illogy, a quadigy. I don't.
I don't think it'll be a trilogy.
They gotta do something.
They seem pretty adamant about not.
Well, with the
calling-
last one, can you blame them? They really shit the bed with that one.
I'm gonna take a second here, fellas.
I mean, I think part of the problem is that, we as a fan base as a whole have this sort of built up in our image, like in our heads, that for Star Wars to be successful, it must be a trilogy. And I think that's a fallacy because it doesn't need to be a trilogy. Trilogies aren't as good as we idealize them to be. I cannot, off the top of my head, think of a single trilogy that all three are considered phenomenal, amazing films.
Like universally or by you?
Universally, I cannot think of a single trilogy that does not have a bad part.
What the hell is this vehicle? Jeez. All right, I'm in it. Where are you, fellas? Actually, I'm gonna grab some weapons when we're here.
Somebody died here. Several died here.
Yeah, I'm.
I've just
I
found
don't
2
think-
packs that were picked clean.
I
There's a
don't
gun in one of
need-
them if either of you need it.
I don't need a trilogy. I just want a good story. They can be new characters too. Give me
Yep.
good story. Give me good production value. You can't be, you can't go light budget like you did on Kenobi, unless you're going to involve characters of that stature, and it doesn't seem like they will be in this new thing. Can someone take a gas station?
No need.
Oh, you got the gas can?
I had a gas can.
I don't know if I can get out of here. I'm trying. Yeah, okay. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah, bear with me. I see it.
Yikes!
Oh, I see them too.
Fuck!
Oh no. Oh no. This is going badly. Yeah, this went bad.
Oh God!
Whoops. Gulag for us. I wasn't expecting to see a team coming out of there. Yeah, I do think, I don't think they're going to come out and say that it's part of something bigger. I don't think it mattered what their next film was going to be. I think they just they were always going to wait and see how audience reception is. They got to know that the audience is very skeptical on what happens next. Oh wow,
Well,
it went badly for Tommy and I.
yeah.
Very badly. So yeah, it's kind of where they are. But with them starting filming soon, it might not be
Ooh, shotguns.
official announcements we get, but we're gonna learn.
Oh, I love the gamer tag of my partner.
What is it?
Voodoo Mama Juju.
Oh gosh. Ugh.
Hey, give me that 3-plate armor and a gulag.
I had to look twice when I came on in around the other day. I could have swore I was in here with Teomo.
Oh, that did not go well considering I had a 3-plate armor suit. I got one punched.
Yes. Oh, we still got 23rd, which is better than I thought we were gonna get there. We'll do one more and then call it. I don't know. Look, let's remember this. They announced not too long ago that Taika Waititi
Hmm.
was doing a film. Okay. That Patty Jenkins
Did I
was going to be
freeze or did you
doing.
not leave?
I froze for a second, but I think we're all still in here.
Yeah, I can't do anything. I see. Yeah. Okay, there it is.
We knew Taika was doing a film. He might still be, but the latest whispers on that, believe it or not, are we might not ever see that film. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Same thing with Rogue Squadron. And then there's the Kevin Feige film, which was not the same film as Taika's film. So you had 3 films that were in, very active development. And the one that is literally about to begin shooting was none of the ones that were announced to the public. And this is just me putting on my detective hat here. They must be really confident in whatever this is because they've been so, cautious with what they do next on the big screen. And yet they fast track whatever this is. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I
Maybe
definitely
they
think you're
just
right.
don't
They've
know
been,
what they're doing.
yeah, they've been far too cautious with getting back on cinema. They let. There were far too many mistakes. Like we point out the Paragon. Oh man, Star Wars, the MCU, same thing. Well, no, in the history of the MCU, there's been one full-on director drama, one director quitting 2/3 of the way through a trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
but that director still stayed on as a producer and still is a producer. It just there's it's not the same. They shat the bed hard by trying to fit inside a box. And the problem is Star Wars itself doesn't fit inside that box. Like there's so many great Star Wars stories that don't fit inside the Star Wars box, that are different, that are original, that are fun, that are enjoyable. That they try to make it too much about the things that worked in the 70s and the 80s, and that's not where we are anymore. And it backfired on them in a big way.
Yeah. Again, the fact that this movie that is gonna, I believe it's filming. I don't know if it's at Pinewood, but I believe it's filming over in London. um, is the one getting made and is not the one that had the fanfare, I think says something. And it's going to be very curious to see what these characters are, when exactly this takes place, and what the story is about. And I know people will say, "Well, hey, the movie doesn't come out till 2025." Well, guess
Oof,
what?
this
If
drop line is horrible for the circle.
if that movie, um, I actually kind of like it.
For the
In fact,
circle, it's
yeah,
awful.
let's aim way up high.
We're
I just
going up
take the
high.
yeah very top. I just tag the by center. See how far we can make it. Um, I'm I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
You tagged something?
Yeah, the buy cart.
Oh, that's
That
always
said,
a win.
though, apparently we are going to have a little bit of an abrupt end to the show because the laptop's about to die. Although we have been on here an hour, and that's what we were looking for. Um, so Johnny and Tommy, I'll have to switch over to the Xbox mic. But again, people will say, "Hey, this movie doesn't come out for another, almost 3 years." Well, guess what? If filming is beginning, I believe the word is spring, which could be as early as March or as late as May. Um, you're going to have details all over online. That's just the way every Star Wars production has been in the Disney era. They won't be able to keep it secret. They still be able to keep some stuff under wraps, but you'll have a general premise of who's involved and what it's about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no such thing as filming in secret anymore. It doesn't exist for anything of significance. Small budget productions, yeah, you can, get away with it. There are like 3 parachutes landing in the general vicinity of this bike-cart.
Okay, well, I'm going
Well,
so
that
far.
sucks.
Well, I mean, we are getting ready to wrap up here. We could go old Wild Wild West.
With our
Well,
pistols.
they have pistols too. Where are they though?
Well,
I don't
I
see any
have
of
an
them.
M38, M13,
I
and a
don't.
and a, a Boss P.
I didn't see anybody drop. Um, but yeah, we'll know soon what's going on with that movie. I still kind of wonder, hey, if you're filming as early as April or May, you really holding off till the end of 2025 to release that movie?
I
Unless
mean,
they're going a cheaper production route where they're not going to take, they're going to take more time in post but less manpower, sort of thing.
yeah.
Because God knows their resources would be spread more thin between all the series that are being worked on, and then doing a movie at the same time.
Precision air. Oh, 2 precision airstrikes. I'll take them.
Feel ripped off. I was promised a Wild Wild West showdown, and there's nobody here.
Really? You bounced me off the glass there?
So, if you guys know they're doing
Oh,
something
no.
post, we'll make this the final question of the night. If it's already predetermined they're doing something post Rise of Skywalker, which I really wish they weren't, but sounds like they are. Do you guys have any hopes of where you'd like to see them go with it? Or, oh God, get out of here, guys. I'm toast. Or anything specifically you don't want to see. I just assume because Grogu's a merchandise cow, they will be, and the fact that his species can live 900 years, Grogu's going no time going nowhere anytime soon, and he's not just going to be a Din thing. They're going to utilize that as much as they can, even if it's a Disney push thing, which it more than likely is.
Are you dead?
No, I might be almost dead though.
I'm dead.
Damn.
I am dead now.
I was in a vehicle too.
Well, our first round was good, and everything else has been calling it trash would be putting it lightly. Soon, I want to take a look at. I don't know if it'll be next week, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes with the Knights of the Old Republic remake. A completely new studio has come in and taken over the project. And there's a lot of speculation on when we might see it. Again, it was supposed to be out June of this year. That's not going to happen. It seems to be basically verified. It's not going to happen at all this year. And it sounds like best case scenario
Well,
is holiday 2024. And again, young me would be like, well, I want this game as soon as I can have it because I am a KOTOR guy. It's my go-to. But at the same time, I don't want to see it rushed. You know, a rushed Knights of the Old Republic 2, although I do like that game, killed, that franchise that put the third game in development hell, and the next thing we got was the Old Republic.
I think for me, I've been painfully used to the delay game. Like there's very few games that don't suffer delays anymore. I've been waiting for Skull and Bones for nearly 20 years at this point. Like, and then it just got pushed back again on 2-3 weeks before release, or scheduled release. It's I've gotten used to it.
I don't mind delays now. When I was younger, I hated them. But if you're going to delay it, release a product that's, good when it finally does come out.
yeah, not half done.
Yeah. So, I know the word is they were pretty, the people at Lucasfilm Games were pretty displeased with how far along, oh my God, what's the name of the company that was doing it? Asper.
Is it Asper Media?
Yeah, Asper. How far along Asper was with the production of the game. They were supposed to be much further than what they actually were. And we know it's still in active development. We know Saber Interactive is taking charge there now, and we'll see what comes of it. But it does sound, the last I heard, and this was on 100% Star Wars YouTube channel, who, I mean, if you want Knights of the Old Republic information, that guy has it. Is there was some belief that there wouldn't be many changes to the story and characters and such, and it turns out that that's not the case. Sounds like there's going to be some pretty significant changes. A lot of things will remain the same, but there is going to be some significant changes, and probably some that some people don't like. I don't know how that makes you two feel.
I mean, I think you're always destined to have stuff like that. I'm not so stuck in my ways that you can't change a story. You can't make improvements to a story. Because even games like that, when you're trying to fit them into a universe, it's always going to be the canon ending. Even when you have multiple endings, there's always that one ending that is the canon ending. I mean, even games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, which are drastically open world, have the official canon endings. So if you sort of push it that direction, I don't mind it so much. I don't,
For what it's worth, Revan does have a voice actor in the game, and Malik's voice actor is not the previous one that's been used before. So those are two pretty significant points of interest in terms of the game. Anyways, though, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us tonight on the show. Johnny, what do you got going over on your Twitch channel, man? What are you playing?
Right now, a whole lot of nothing. It's just been far too crazy for me to get any content pumped out, but Hogwarts Legacy is in 2 weeks, and we're definitely gonna be streaming that on the channel because it's a Harry Potter video game, and I'm a Potterhead, so we're gonna be playing the crap out of that on stream.
Is that our signal that the laptop died?
I was gonna say, I think so.
But I think the stream's still running.
It is indeed. We are, in fact, still live, and he is, I'm assuming, dealing with a dead laptop. Well, this is awkward.
Yeah. Wow, we just really got destroyed in this last match, though. Yeah, since
it
too
did
bad
not
folks couldn't see. I mean, saves us, I guess, some pride or whatever. But yeah, we did not do a good job this last match. Nope. But now we are exiting it, so I guess that's the end.
I don't know. It seems like he shut down because it moved me to party leader, I guess, because it allowed me to leave with party.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's that.
My laptop died.
We figured as much.
Yeah, I knew it was going to. Anyways, did you get your stuff in, Johnny?
Yes.
All right. Tommy, how about you, man?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. You fucking hater. Go watch some Bad Batch. Good night, people. For those of you looking for Halloween stuff, be on the lookout this week. Good night.